Kalalayim, Layahawa Bashim Yahushai, Bashem Rakakudash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, to the bishops and the elders that rule well, who I learned this truth from, and salutations and blessings. All right, to the 144,000, all right, the 1/3, you brothers and you few sisters that take heed in sincerity and truth. All right, so this lesson is going to deal with a certain individual that was pretty prominent in spreading madness as a folly, you know, um, in American society. All right, I'm going to start off with Jeremiah 49:7. It says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Now Teman today, they're known as the Germans. And the Germans are pretty much the most innovative, wise tribe of the Edomites. Okay, I'll put it that way. Oh, it is that way. They are the wise men of Esau. And it doesn't take much to learn that a lot of things on the left-hand side that has benefited Esau has been produced and actually engineered in Germany, right? In Teman, from pharmaceutical breakthroughs, drugs, chemistry, to psychology, different devices, like I said, even in innovation and inventions, so to speak, right? They have had a big hand in the success, right? Verse 8, flee, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. And this is going into Esau's nature, describing Esau, right? You Edomites, okay? This is your track record, This is what you, throughout the earth, this is what you have done, right? It's saying, look, a thief, when he comes, he's gonna take the substance, he's gonna take his fill, he's gonna take his fill, but he's gonna leave them grapes in the corner. But Esau, when he comes, man, no, we need, we're gonna take everything. No, take it all, right? That's this man's spirit. He's a covetous man, right? He's a covetous man. And what did the Lord say about covetousness? It is idolatry, right? So this man is a covetous, vain, weak person, really, in the mind, right? Right? It says Esau was a profane person, not as Esau, not as that profane who's a fornicator, right? For one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Verse 10 is the point. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself, right? So all these videos the brothers are doing, right? Breaking down all these different things, right? This is how Esau is being made bare. The whistleblowers, right? Documentaries being made, articles coming out, right? You had people like Snowden, truthers, all those types. That doesn't mean they're Israelites and they're gonna get a ride. Some of them could be Israelites, but hey, you got Edomites that telling themselves, man. Right? The book of Job says, thine own tongue condemneth thee, and not I. Right? His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Okay, now, hold on. All right, so this is from a website called Truth or Trust Christ. Go. Trust Christ, go to hell.org. Right? This is a Christian site, but nonetheless, it serves a purpose. All right. So this is a character, this is a demon that the brother Howard, he goes into frequently on the highways. Dr. Alfred Kinsey. And I brought out that scripture about Teeman because, well, this guy could be a Teemanite. I don't know, right? Like when I looked him up, it just goes into he's American and his father is American, but he could be actually a Teemanite. But I just brought that out because it stands that Teeman is the wise man. And by the way, you had a lot of Teemanites that were brought to America after World War II, right? They were brought here to work for the U.S. government through a thing called Project Paperclip. Okay, you can look that up. And they were brought here, and their names were changed, and they were given a salary. They could settle in a house, start a whole new family, right? And they've been working in America for generations now. So I'll start down here. Now this is actually a picture. Kinsey is shown here visiting Satanic High Priest Aleister Crowley's temple at Thelema in Sicily with occult porno filmmaker Kenneth Anger. This photograph was obviously posed to create deeply occult symbols and images. And you see that poster or image there of Aleister. And that's how they like to do things like that with the shadow. All right. When you do the peace sign, the so-called V for victory, and you do it kind of limp. You don't do it straight up. You kind of limp, and you put the thumb a certain way. When you look at the shadow cast, it's a goat. It's a goat, representing Baphomet. So they like doing things like that. That's the occult, right? They have the hand gestures and different rituals. So it says satanic doctor to conduct experiment. So that shows you he was a student of Aleister Crowley. And if you don't know about Aleister Crowley, you need to go research about him. He was a top demon. He was one of the top demons on the planet. Okay, he was a high level witch, a warlock. Next, imagine this elite group deciding that these horrendous sexual experiments are to be supervised by a well-known professor or doctor of zoology. The chosen doctor happens to be an admirer of the infamous British Satanist Aleister Crowley, the Beast, and is himself a P&H. He will be given millions of dollars to set up a sexual laboratory and institute at a public university somewhere in Middle America. After this doctor's depraved team completes its abominable research, the mass media will be employed. The nation's newspapers, television, and radio, along with educational organizations, will join in congratulating the P research doctor on a job well done. And that's because all those things listed, the media, all those things are paid off, right? All those things are used to form public opinion and public belief and to form society pretty much, right? There's a person named Edward Bernays. I did a lesson on him, and he was known as the father. He was the father of public relations, but he was also the father. And you have a department of public relations in America, and they like to title it like that. It sounds nice. Oh, public relations. They want to know what you're about, and they'll gather data, and then they'll form your opinions. Pretty much, they'll shape your beliefs and which way you turn. Which way you go, which way you want to go, what you want to do, how you want to dress, what you want to listen to, right? Um, and you're seeing that today. Today is the pinnacle, the climate. But um, shoot, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me, Lord's will. It says here, he will be given millions of dollars to set up a sexual laboratory and institute at a public university somewhere in Middle America, right? Oh, he was known as the father of, I said public relations, but he's also known as the father of propaganda. Okay, Edward Bernays, and some low level examples. For example, is the cigarette, right? The smoking cigarettes. There was a time when doctors recommended it because doctors were paid off, and nothing has changed. Doctors are paid off for a lot of things today, right? To market you drug companies and drugs and different things, medical equipment and all this nonsense, things that don't help you and actually are, they're a detriment to your health anyway. So it says after this doctor's depraved team completes its abominable research, the mass media will be employed. The nation's newspapers, television, and radio. Oh, Slakia read that. His name as a great thinker and scientist will go up in lights. The whole world shall sing his praises and be joyful for what this man has done to these little children, all in the name of science. And so it is that the doctor of zoology and his helpers go about their grim business of sexual molestation. Thousands of children are thrown into beds. Molesters described as research associates repugnantly and with wicked abandon ravage their cringing young bodies. Some infants molested are only 5 months of age. The abused children are counted as statistics and labeled as scientific subjects. All goes according to plan. The Satanist doctor's name becomes a household word. Educators toast his brilliance. Commendatory books are published examining his work and touting his found findings. Clergymen and readers of mass circulation magazines. This stuff, when you read it, it just gets your blood boiling. This man has to go. All right, and you're on your way out. All right, you're about to get a, you about to, you're about to get your ass kicked out the door, man. All right, I'm talking about you Edomites. It says clergymen and readers of mass circulation magazines, including family-oriented publications, agree with his conclusions and change their attitudes and behaviors accordingly. No one seems upset, no one is alarmed. Yet thousands of children are systematically tortured, and the majority of people rejoice that a stunning sexual revolution is taking place. Somehow, though, God's born-again believers suspect that the world will never again be the same. Never. I'm going to jump down. This is that devil right here. And his work, by the way, it's still upheld today. And this is what he says, right? So Kinsey's research findings were that adults who used children for sex outlets were quite normal. One Kinsey research associate who was reported to have had various forms of activity with 800 children was deemed by Kinsey to be a refined gentleman and a scientific hero. Government funds were used to help compensate this serial child M for his contributions to science. All right, and this was all going on, man. This happened. All right, this is the skirt being lifted. Esau's being made bare. From Kinsey's flawed research conclusions, and this is how they are today. Biden, all these degenerates, they're fine. What did he say? They're all refined gentlemen. They're philanthropists. This devil, man. It says, from Kinsey's flawed research conclusions, a new generation built an entire new working theory of sexual freedom and license. Kinsey was described by the press and the academic world as the father of the sexual revolution. Author and novelist Gore Vidal, himself a notorious H, candidly stated that Kinsey was the most famous man in America in the world. Rockefeller Kinsey, in the grand scheme, in her revealing book, Dr. Judith Reisman for the first time exposes Kinsey's satanic connections. She also unmasks the fact that it was the Rockefeller Foundation that gave the wicked Dr. Kinsey the money to conduct his sin-laden genocidal child soul-killing research. At the heart of it all was a grand scheme by the late Kinsey and his associates to destroy the very building blocks of society. Their goal was to create a new civilization. The decadent dream of the surviving conspirators remained. Okay. Down here, in effect, the release of the Kinsey report was a planned and staged event, carefully and meticulously crafted in minute detail, intended to dissolve morality and to manipulate and catapult the entirety of humanity into a new age of sexual and social slavery. As such, the grand scheme worked beautifully. Our twisted and sick culture. Look around you, kind readers of power and prophecy. Ask yourself, why is our twisted and sick culture the way it is today? Why have even the youngest of our kids become sexual barbarians and menacing satanic warriors? Why is the MTV generation so devoid of a conscience? And what of their parents, the drug crazed, sexual liberated 60s New Age generation? This was an entire generation made into zombies by marijuana, cocaine, heavy metal music, and Hindu gurus. Between the mixed up kids and their demented parents, America has become a dumbed down nation of unthinking feelies and sexually weird immorals. And that's facts, man. Look around you, man. What the fuck's going on? Sexy Red and all these bugged up shits, man. This is all craziness, madness. You know? The wise shall understand. It says, as Wiseman argues in her book Kinsey, Crimes and Consequences, the Red Queen and the Grand Scheme, it is time that Americans discover how their way of life has been so dramatically changed by an unheralded, little-known cadre of evil sexual perverts and their financial backers. It is time that Americans learn of how moneyed special interests shut down the loan. Well, that's whatever. That's it on that. Yeah, that was pretty much. But yeah, man, you can go into more information about this demon, but that's the gist of it. I just showed you his background, what he's about. This is what he's about, man. This is what this devil's about, and the Rockefellers funded this guy. All right. So anyway, call halalim la Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakha Kodash. Shalom.